Courtney Cronin of ESPN. She covers the Vikings. Also, usually here in this studio with us for Purple Daily. Instead, in Arizona at the owners' meetings. Just wrapped up talking with Mike Zimmer. All right, let's move to some of the hotter quotes from Mike Zimmer here on Xavier Rhodes. It is just classic Mike Zimmer to say he needs to play better and earn his contract. That's what he told you guys today. I guess you
Yes.
probably at this point not surprised, but the bluntness of Mike Zimmer at 100% there at the owners' meetings, it seems.
Yes, and this was towards the end too, so this might have been exacerbated by wanting to get out of there at some point. But no, I mean, he was asking all these cornerback depth. You were talking about Trey Waynes, Xavier Rhodes, and he likes both of them, obviously. And I think that, the fact of the matter is that Waynes has not been traded, at this point at least, his contract hasn't been dumped somewhere else in exchange for draft picks. That makes Mike Zimmer happy. But he wants to see Xavier Rhodes get back to the level he played at in 2017. And how that happens. Like, I asked him, I was like, well, injuries aside, what hindered him in 2018? Like, you and I have talked about it. As guys get up there in age, sometimes they have to transition from cornerback to safety because you lose speed, you lose athleticism. And he said it wasn't any of those things. That, really pointed to Rhodes' technique, that was kind of where he faltered a little bit in 2018. And obviously the injuries were a thing. The hamstring was a problem, and it kept nagging. And Rhodes said to us the day after the Bears game that this was the hardest season of his life just because of everything he had to go through physically. But for Zimmer to say, like, I'm taking that responsibility on me somewhat to get him to the level where he needs to be able to play, have to play up to your contract because we're paying you a lot of money. It's kind of put up or shut up. And I think that, Rhodes is one of those guys. I mean, we've heard the same type of thing said with Anthony Barr and Mike Zimmer, where sometimes it comes across as maybe a little harsh, but those two understand each other. And I would say that, Rhodes is definitely one of those, jump on the table guys for Mike Zimmer as well. And he expects a lot out of him because that defense, those cornerbacks, I mean, the reason, they drafted, they love having cornerback depth. They need Xavier Rhodes to be part of that.
Courtney, I totally agree with Mike Zimmer that somebody of Rhodes' skill set who can shut down top receivers is extremely important in the NFL if you win by passing and stopping the pass, right? But I also wonder at times whether with Zimmer, his loyalty to some of the guys that he's kind of helped grow throughout their careers might ultimately end up hurting the Vikings because I was watching the Football Life with Bill Walsh, and some of his players talked about being sent other places by Bill Walsh, even though they had been with him for a long time, because Walsh felt like they just couldn't give the same type of talent as they did before in their primes. And I wonder if there's a similar situation here with Xavier Rhodes, where at his absolute best, he's one of the top 5 shutdown corners in the league, but he's also getting up there in age. He's getting injured a lot. They're calling things tighter, so he's getting a lot of penalties, which is why his PFF grades were so bad last year. And they have other players who might be able to replace him. I just ultimately wonder if some of that cap space could have been used on the offensive side instead, but Zimmer was just extremely loyal to these guys.
It could be that. And I think that with Xavier Rhodes, I don't know if the trade leverage is as good as maybe we thought it was initially. I think that you had a better chance probably with a guy like Trey Waynes, who is, going to be playing out, as of right now, playing out the 5th-year option on his contract, and is going to be looking for that next big payday. Right now, it doesn't feel like he's going to be here in 2020, just given the situation that they have with the salary cap and that, another team. I mean, Trey's a really good corner. Would I call him elite just yet? I don't know. But I think that he's, pivotal to what Zimmer wants, to do, like, in his defense. So, with a guy like Rhodes, is the best, have we already seen the best? I mean, 2017 was a really good year, and last year was not. Can he get back there? I don't know, because, I mean, some of those comments, it doesn't sound like health really, I mean, yes, health was there, but it wasn't addressed as kind of, technique is very different than saying someone was injured. You know what I mean? So when I take a look at something like that, it makes you wonder, okay, can he get back to that level? Is it more of a mental game than a physical game?